Man, when I got out of that helicopter, I zipped down that line. I was the last guy off my fast rope. And when I hit the deck, I thought I was right in the middle where the rope, where I looked at it, right before you go, you look down with your nods and go, okay, we're good. Zing down there. And I hit the deck and I pushed the rope away and I stepped back to grab my gun and I stepped back into nothing because my heels were right on the edge. And when I stepped back, like, so the last thing that goes through your head before you die, I was just really disappointed. I was like, fuck.
Let's go.
Welcome to Citizen. We've got a special guest today, Mark Cochiolo, or Coach, or whatever, right?
Yeah, whatever.
We'll get there. You have done a couple of things in your life, and we're going to get into a few of them. How about that?
Okay.
It's a good intro, right? So, where did you? I like to get into people's past a little bit. Where'd you grow up?
Grew up. I'm a California kid. I was born in L.A. And did all my.
Where in L.A.?
I have no idea. I was real young then, so we didn't stay there very long. I did all my elementary school in a place called Pismo Beach, California. And
It's
then,
worse places to go to school, probably, in elementary school.
It was a little different back then in the 70s.
Yeah.
Then we moved up to San Jose, and I did junior high school up there, and joined the Navy to get the hell out of East San Jose.
East San Jose is not great.
No.
And it's still not great.
Even though the prices of property have gone way up, they're still just, it's horrible.
Yeah. Even Palo Alto, the east side, is fucked up. Like there's trailer parks and meth heads, and like when you say Palo Alto, people think of Silicon Valley. I'm like, it's not all Silicon Valley out there, my friend. Like there are parts that are dodgy, I guess, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a good number of the kids I grew up with are either dead or in jail. So, joining the Navy was probably the right idea.
What made you decide to join the Navy specifically? Was it Charlie Sheen?
Oh, no, I joined the Navy in 1984. Charlie Sheen hadn't thought about being a SEAL
What would
then.
have been before that? Were there any good Navy movies before then?
No. Officer and a Gentleman, I think, was the only one.
I think that came after as well. Wasn't it in 86?
I have no idea. Might have been. Who knows?
Oh, no, it was 82. Okay. So there you go.
Yeah.
So it was Richard Gere then. Got it.
No. Well, no, I mean, nobody, I didn't join the Navy for any specific reason, except to get money to go to college.
Sure, yeah. You didn't know that you wanted to be a SEAL or anything?
Nobody knew what a SEAL was.
Yeah, back then nobody had any idea.
I had no idea.
Because most of my buddies that are GY guys, tier 1 or 2, it's Charlie Sheen, right? Or 9/11 or some combination of the two.
Yeah.
9/11 was like, all right, I got to join the military, but it's like, well, where am I going to go? Obviously, the SEALs are cool, people like that, right?
Yeah.
It was either that or like Rangers, because of Black Hawk Down. People had seen that a lot, right?
Yep.
It's good advertising, I guess. So for you, it was just kind of luck of the draw, I guess.
Yeah, I just came in looking for money to go to college. Both my parents are high school teachers. So there's, 5 of us brothers. So they didn't have any money to send us to college, but you're going to college. So I went and tried to find my own way and joined the Navy to get money for college. And when I got to boot camp, it was just really stupid and easy. And I was like, are you kidding me?
I mean, you guys, so what was your job going in? They assigned you some kind of career field.
Oh, yeah, I was a photographer's mate.
I'm sorry, what?
Hey, photographer's mate.
What the fuck does that mean?
Well, they don't have those anymore, but...
I know a bosun's mate. That's like a thing. I've never heard of a photographer's mate.
Well,
is that like a chaplain's assistant, but for a photographer, basically?
Well, you are a photographer,
yeah.
but you're a mate of something. It's a Navy thing. I don't know.
That's
PH.
why everybody called you guys gay all the time, too.
Because nobody really understood what the hell was going on.
So you go to basic, and this is like, a lot of it is the same for Air Force, too. The Army, luckily, well, I don't know if it's lucky or not, but typically speaking, if you're infantry, you're in an infantry basic, and if you're combat arms, you're in a combat arms basic. Like
okay.
People that are like Cav Scouts and shit like that, they don't go to Fort Jackson with pogues to go to basic, basically. Although to me, they're still a pogue, right? But there's degrees of poguery. But yeah, you guys, it's like one kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
and you're learning to make a
lot
bed,
of classroom
and
stuff,
fold your clothes, and march, and just
drill and ceremony. Drill and ceremony is I understand the point of it, and I don't want to get in trouble with I don't know. There's the blue book is important, I guess, as an infantryman, but it's tedious,
Mm-hmm.
It's tedious, and if you're a high performer, basic training sucks. Like it was the most annoying and boring. Like I got so mentally bored that I would start trolling the shit out of people all the time, getting into like arguments with people about dumb shit. I had this one drill sergeant. He was up my ass all the time, but I actually think he liked me because we had fun with it. This one time, we were all getting into the back of an LMTV we were supposed to be, and one of the other guys came over and he was like, "Don't get in that fucking truck." And then one of my drills was like, "You better get in that truck." And he goes, "What are you gonna do now, smart guy?" I'm like, "I'm gonna wait for one of you to leave and do what the other guy said." And he goes, "Oh, that's real fucking clever." But yeah, that's like what you resort to.
Yeah.
So at what point during that process did you decide, like, all right, I got to go do something else?
Well, there was they have these UDT SEAL motivators that kind of haunt, recruit training. And I just was like, hey, this is really dumb. He's like, hey, we got this UDT SEAL thing. I'm like, what's that? So, well, you get to jump at airplanes, shoot guns, and blow shit up. I'm like, hell yeah, sign me up. And that's how it all started. I didn't even know what a SEAL was until I was one, pretty much. It was just the challenge.
And what was it back then? Because I'm sure things have changed now quite a bit. I mean, nobody uses the phrase UDT anymore. To be honest, you might be the last guy. So you and Jesse Ventura might be the last two dudes out there saying that shit.
Don't mention me and him in the same breath.
Well, I just saying I guess he was 10 or 12 years before you. I think he was out.
Yeah, he was.
But yeah, it's like not many people use that phrase anymore. What was there still the same pipeline? You go to Buds?
Yeah,
or was it something different
back in the old days, they had UDT and they had SEALs, and UDT was underwater demolition team.
Okay.
And SEALs were the combat arm,
right?
Underwater,
like assaulters.
Yeah, basically. It was all Vietnam, kind of, what do you call it, focused, right? Because that was the war they had at the time.
You mean like insurgent, guerrilla warfare style?
Yeah,
stuff?
Yeah, that was the big thing then. I mean, hell, in the 80s, we were just developing the CQB practice that we've evolved into now. But yeah, it was in 1983 they merged the UDTs and the SEALs together because it wasn't two jobs anymore.
So I mean that's interesting because we go through these reorgs from time to time. In the infantry during the early part of the GWAT, they came out with this brigade combat team thing where they gave us a CAV unit and this guy and that guy and whatever. And it's like, all right, I guess that makes it a little easier because you get to do a little bit of training with this dude before you deploy with him. But I didn't notice that much. The only one I did notice with was what they did with our JTACs, TACP guys. They sent them to us early to train with, and that was very helpful. I think during the later part of the war, and it was things were starting to tone down a little bit, but they were just, the battle space commander would say, hey, I need 10 JTACs, and they would send 10 guys, and he would just distribute them, and that was the first time they ever met the people they were working with.
Ooh, yeah,
so that's a little tough, right? When you're trying to do deconfliction on like coordinated operations and stuff like that as a guy, and then also be on with your fires guys getting ready to call in strikes if you need to, that's a lot of fucking work for an E4 JTAC to do, to be fair. You know what I mean? Because usually that's what it is. When you get a TACP, a control party, you've got an E4 or maybe E5 guy, and then you've got his like E3, E4 assistant, right?
Oh yeah, it's a big job.
That's a big job for those guys, and they're very competent at it too. But still, fuck, man, that's a lot of work. For them to come in and flex on the unit like that too. It's like telling the fires officer at battalion, like, hey, you need to shut the fuck up. This is my job. You know what I mean? Which is that's kind of how it has to be sometimes.
Yeah.
So. The reorgs have happened. I think I think there was a. I think the Army Special Missions Unit has brought in some native players, right? Like breachers. They added breachers that aren't operators necessarily, but they're part of the unit now and stuff like that. That's pretty smart, I think. You know, like to have to work day in and day out, especially if you're an assaulter. The coordination, the timing, the nonverbal communication, all that shit matters, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, we kind of combined that when I was on Gold Squadron. I was a breacher. Yeah. And that was just like your collateral duty, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what it used to be, right?
But now, it was good. It was it worked really good.
Yeah.
I would put us up against the Army's SMU breachers any day, because we were all SEALs and we're all Tier 1 guys, so we were pretty motivated.
Yeah, it's interesting now because like my buddy who's over there, he's a ranger, carries a saw and blows all their doors. That's his job. And I'm like, damn, that's a pretty fucking fun job, to be honest, dude. Like you might have the best job in the entire military.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, they've been doing augmentations with at the command for a while, where you just get high performers from whatever team, and they'll come over and work for a couple of months with you.
Really?
And then go back.
They don't go through green team and all that stuff.
No, but they're not stacking on a door per se.
Yeah, fair enough.
But they're doing, especially the combat controller type guys, the JTACs.
Yeah.
Not combat controller.
So how did that go for you? You were you go to whatever that is. Is it? Did they call it BUDS back then?
Yeah. Okay. It was still BUDS. It was a little different then. It was
like how? What do you mean?
Well, people ask me, say, "Hey, how's training changed? Is it harder now?" I'm like, no. It was harder when I went through, but it's more difficult now. Okay, and
skill-wise, more difficult.
Yeah, skill-wise.
That's the more important thing, right? We're like cavemen, like us. We're like, let's make it as hard as we can. It's like, well, that might not be the best solution, right?
Hey, it was a good formula for the time, right?
Yeah.
BUDS was 6 months long.
Holy shit! 6 months?
Oh yeah.
Still just a hell week, though, right?
In one hell week, yeah. But
and it was after week 3 still, or
okay. So there's 3 phases. First phase, that's just a kick in the nuts. Straight up surf torture, log PT, all the stuff that you see, and that's where Hell Week falls.
Yeah.
And then second phase back then was land warfare, but they've switched it, so you go to diving in second phase now. And land warfare was like, okay, here's a gun and a bomb. Oh, and you're kicking the nuts. And then diving was just an underwater kick in the nuts. So it was 6 months of getting your shit pushed in. Yeah. And then you graduate, and we started with 126 dudes and 22 originals finished.
Yeah. And I mean, when the first couple classes I think the attrition rate was like 83 or 85%, somewhere in that range.
Yeah. You want 75 rough. Or more. I mean, otherwise you're just not doing it right.
Right.
And guys, once you made it through, then you just went to your team. You get assigned. Well, you went to jump school in Fort Benning, which was like Navy Appreciation Month.
Yeah. We had a bunch. We had a bunch of guys, MARSOC guys too, that came through when I was there. Actually, it's interesting. Did you guys do drown proofing back then too?
Oh yeah.
Was it the same as it is now with the tie behind your back, and you just got to learn how to?
Yep.
I mean, for me, I've asked a bunch of people about this. I always get like somewhat similar answers, but what do you think the point of that is?
It's to make you comfortable in the water. That's all it is.
To not panic, right?
Yeah, they want to see what you do when you're in this really difficult situation. And we get the brief. Yeah, I mean, you don't just jump in tied up. They start you off, okay, here, put your hands behind your back, hold your feet together, and then they'll tie just your feet, and they'll tie just your hands. And the first thing you got to do is float for like a couple of minutes, right? And you just do this bobbing float thing. And the instructor was like, okay, none of you guys is negative, okay? Everybody floats, just relax, So I jump in, and I'm just relaxing, and I'm closing my eyes, and then I had to adjust my ears right as my feet hit at the bottom of the 15-foot pool with some authority, because I weighed 143 pounds. Yeah. I had no fat on me. So while everybody else was floating, I'm standing there, on the bottom of the fucking pool looking up going, I'm going to have to figure something out. Yeah. So during the test, I was kicking the whole time.
Oh, shit. So how long was it?
A couple of minutes. Okay. And then you had to swim down to end of the pool and back, and then dive down and grab a mask off the deep end.
So it is pretty similar then.
Yeah.
Today, it's just like probably the conditions are a little bit maybe.
I don't know.
Or maybe the way that they conduct the training is slightly different, but the principle sounds like exactly, because that's the same thing I've heard from guys that went through 20 years ago.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Interesting. I guess if it works, why the fuck would you change it?
Why change it? Yeah.
Where'd you go first?
I was at SEAL Team 5 for 5 years, and during that time, I mean, you check in and your platoon basically trains you. There was no SEAL tactical training, or now we have SQT, which is another 6 months. So the pipeline now is a year long before you showed up to a team, but you show up with your trident and all that, so you're ready to go. But you get to your team and get in a platoon and start doing new guy stuff, carrying heavy shit and getting yelled at, and, all that. And screwing up. There's plenty of screwing up that you do.
Well, what year did you get to a team, like 90 or 90, 86 maybe?
87.
87, okay. Yeah. And I guess the next thing that we did that was serious was Panama that next year.
Yeah.
Or was it 89? 88 or 89?
I think it was 89.
Yeah. And then obviously Gulf stuff, Somalia stuff.
Yeah.
Did you get any good deployments in that early part?
West Coast, we were pretty much going to the Philippines and just training with the the locals. And
were you guys doing any narco-terrorism stuff out there? Because that's a big thing now. It has been since the late 90s.
Well, we were doing some stuff, but I'm still not going to talk about that.
Yeah. I've heard from West Coast guys and first group guys that it's fucking nuts down there. Like you don't ever hear any. You don't ever hear anything in the press about it. Ever. But they've had partnerships with Al Qaeda. They've had partnerships with ISIS. They've had partnerships with all sorts of
It's just real. Anything that has to do down with the border, it's just real unpopular to talk about. If it's bad.
Yeah. So West Coast guy, and then I don't know what they called it back then. I guess just SEAL Team 6, right? But
okay. So that number, I still get kind of. I take a pause before I say the number, because back then you just didn't say it.
Yeah.
Okay. I screened for development group, and you go through green team, all that.
And it was the same back then, going through green team, and
things have changed a bit, evolved.
Well, let's not get into the particulars because that's nobody's fucking business. But
it's still you're doing everything. They're all SEAL skills. You just take them up to the next level.
Right. And is it similar insofar as Dev Group guys will be there picking their own dudes out of the lineups and stuff like that, or is it, because that's not necessarily the case for Army Special Forces? It doesn't really work like that, but for Tier 1 it does, right?
Well, yeah, you go through green team. You screen, right? So you stand in front of a board and they talk to you and they look at your record and all that stuff. And back then it was just like a verbal, you take a test, the psych eval,
right? Yeah.
And had an interview, and they decided whether you could, join green team or not. Now they have like a little mini training deal where you go there for a couple of weeks, and they just, beat the snot out of you and see what you got, and then we'll go, okay, you screen positive.
Do you think that's more useful than the way it was back in the day?
Oh yeah, it'll give you a little more of what the guy is about, rather than just an interview. That's why they're doing it this way now, and it seems to be working. They get all the high quality guys that they need.
What would you say is the most important characteristic for somebody to go from 2 to 1?
You really got to be a team player. You really, really got to, you got to be part of that team. If you're a loner, or if you got personality quirks, you're going to be together like up each other's ass for a long time.
Right. Yeah.
And if you got
confined
friction,
spaces.
It's not good. So as long as you can perform, you got to perform.
Everybody that's there can perform.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be there in the first place, right?
Right.
Okay.
It's just whether you can get along with the team. If you're and if you're not, they'll show you the door.
Yeah. That's that. Like a guy that just for no reason smells like onion rings or something. Like, sorry, bud. I know that seems silly, but it's like, for real. You have to be able to operate at peak level, and then you have to be able to decompress at peak level too, especially when you're like people that haven't been in gunfights before don't understand the short-term or micro and then macro effects of adrenaline dumps and stuff like that when you're out somewhere, especially if you're under constant threat. It fucking sucks, man. Like you can go from I'm the best that's ever been at this to like, oh God, I feel I'm gonna die. It's like there's nothing good left in my body, and then all of a sudden you got to get up and fight again. Those are really extreme circumstances for you somatically, for physically to go through that stuff, and you can't have weirdos around, right?
Nah, it's not even being a weirdo. It's just you know, like those guys that get shown the door, they go back to a regular team, and they're high performers.
Oh
there.
yeah.
You know, so it just they're just not ready for that particular level or that level of intimacy, I guess.
How was it for you adjusting, like team wise? I guess from it seems to me like there would be a higher level of accountability, right? That's usually the case. Yeah. In any organization, the more you step up, the more you are required to be personally accountable for everything to some degree, which sounds crazy to go from a more personally accountable than a Navy SEAL to a higher level Navy SEAL, right? But it's true.
Oh yeah. It was an interesting switch, and I was a West Coast guy, so that's our strike against you, because they're on the East Coast, yeah. And no, but I'm pretty, I don't know, malleable, I guess. So I fit in good enough to stay there. I was there for 8 years as an assaulter.
That's a good run. It wears on you.
Oh yeah.
And then what would you do after? You went to chief school afterwards, didn't you? At some point.
Yeah, I made chief in September of 2001.
Oh, sweet. There you go.
So we had a really abbreviated chief's initiation.
Did you go? I don't know how it works in the Navy. So on the Army side, chief usually going into intel or something like that, or some specialty, right?
Okay, so Army chiefs are warrant officers.
Right.
Okay. E7 chiefs.
I see.
That's
Navy. Okay. So you weren't a warrant officer then?
Not then, no.
Okay, not then. But that's what I was thinking. You became one later. That's what I was referring to.
There you go. See, it's terminology, right?
There you go, yeah. So you get promoted to 7, right? Right as the GWAT kicks off.
Yep.
And then now it's time to fuck some shit up, right?
And I got promoted with 10 other guys on Gold Squadron. So all of a sudden,
all at the same time?
Yeah.
Were they expanding?
No. We just took the test and boom, there you went, and all of us made it. And
well, there's no billet for E7. That's just you're still an assault.
Normally, if it's like just 1 or 2 guys make it, then they find some new responsibility. What did I do? I emptied the shit cans and gun, bomb, whatever. I was at E5 with anchors, man. It was all good.
Well, shit, why not? You still get paid for it. So
hell yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah. It was great.
E6 to E7 is a pretty good bump too, if I recall.
Yeah, So when you start making money,
that's nice.
And you get a little more respect there too. It's like, all of a sudden you're wearing khakis, and people actually want to listen to what you have to say. I'm like, dude, I was the same guy yesterday.
Yeah. So you guys did quite a bit of work in the early parts.
Yeah, the first thing Gold Squadron did is they sent us to Bosnia because nobody knew how deep this rabbit hole went.
Yeah.
So
we had problems there before with Milosevic and all that shit, and the clash between Orthodox and Muslim and shit like that.
Yeah, but the folks there, they're about as Muslim as most Americans are Christians. So,
they're Albanian Muslims. That doesn't count.
That doesn't count. They are not fanatics at all. No. They're actually pretty good folks.
Yeah. We know. I mean, that wasn't our problem. To be honest,
And then so we came back from that, and then went to Afghanistan for our deployments are shorter, 3 months because it's kind of intense.
Yeah.
So did 3 months in Afghanistan, Elvis sightings, just like, hey, they're baking too much bread in this village. It's like, what kind of intel is this? Yeah. But and I got dinged. We were hitting a house. Well, house. Just it was basically rocks and timbers, real hilly area, right? And man, when I got out of that helicopter, I zipped down that line. I was the last guy off my fast rope, And when I hit the deck, I thought I was right in the middle where the rope, where I looked at it, right before you go, you look down with your nods and go, okay, we're good. Zing down there. And I hit the deck and I pushed the rope away and I stepped back to grab my gun and I stepped back into nothing because my heels were right on the edge. And when I stepped back, I was like, so the last thing that goes through your head before you die, I was just really disappointed. I was like, fuck, I'm dead, and then, things start hitting you, boom, 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 boom. And I stopped. And then, the next thing that goes through your head is, fuck, I'm not dead. Meanwhile, the guys look over and they see me when I landed on my back, my camelback burst. So there I'm laying in a spreading pool of black liquid. They're like, okay, Coach is dead.
Shit.
How do we get off this roof?
Oh my God.
I got my crap back together.
Then you got to walk the fuck back up the stairs to get up there.
Oh, I couldn't. I was pretty fucked up.
What happened?
I had a big hematoma on my shin, and the nods tried to poke my eyes out. But I had clear eye pro underneath, and that's why I've got two eyes to look at you today, because that was the one smart thing I did. That's
a good thing. All you sergeants majors out there, don't stop talking about eye pro and gloves.
Yeah, and so if I'd gone off two of the sides of the building, it would have just been a one-story drop. Where I went off, it was a two-story drop, and I hit the edge of the first story on the way. Yeah.
Ooh, boy.
Now, the other side of the building was about 100 feet before there was anything, because it was built in the side. So it's called frogman luck, right? Yeah. You're not lucky enough not to get hurt, but you just don't die.
This episode of Citizen is brought to you by our title sponsor, Omaha Steaks. Best steaks in the business, the oldest butcher in America, America's original butcher since 1917. A family-owned company with 100 years of expertise in the meat industry. And look, they've got everything. Mouth-watering burgers, chicken, pork, seafood, and even desserts. They got some sides on there, too. You know how I feel about sides, but they have them. Grass-fed, grain-finished beef has more marbling for exceptional flavor and is the choice of steakhouses and professional chefs around the world. There's nothing quite like the unforgettable taste of a summer cookout. And as the summer heats up, the blazing hot sale is the perfect time to stock up and save on exceptional handcrafted flavor and convenience. Make your summer sizzle with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their blazing hot sale. And for an extra $45 off, use the promo code CITIZEN at checkout. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com and an extra $45 off with the promo code CITIZEN at checkout. See site for details. And it's not just for you. It can be given as a gift as well. I've given a couple of gifts over the last couple of weeks of this. It's an easy stocking stuffer during the holidays, but even birthdays and all the things that come up during your life where you want to do something nice for somebody, for your dad, for the man in your life, or to make your wife's life easier by having a constant supply of meat coming to the house so she doesn't have to do all that grocery shopping, whatever. Doesn't matter what it is. Go to omahasteaks.com to get 50% off site-wide during their blazing hot sale. Use the promo code CITIZEN at checkout for an additional $45 off. Minimum purchase may apply. See site for details. And a big thanks to our advertiser, Omaha Steaks. This episode is also brought to you by First Form, firstform.com/Drinking Bros, the best protein in the business. Protein is the building block of life, folks. I say it all the time. You replace every cell in your body over the course of 2 to 10 years, depending on how active you are, how much you eat, and how clean you eat. And if you're replacing it with garbage, you're going to be garbage. So make sure you're eating the best possible protein you can and supplementing with First Form. Don't forget about the micro factors. It's just a little simple pack. Open it up, dump it in your mouth hole, and feel better. You know, they've got the liver detox, which is a great thing for people that like to drink or people who, just want to be healthier. And then they have all these other supplements. They've got great pre-workouts. They've got great protein in all the flavors. And then, of course, for people on the go like us, they have exceptional meat sticks, protein sticks, and a variety of different flavors. And then the level 1 protein bars in a variety of flavors as well. That we talk about this stuff all the time. They're great. So go to firstform.com/Drinking Bros. It's the best company in the world. You've seen us with Andy. You've seen the company. We love these guys. It's a very American company. So go support them and support us. Firstform.com/Drinking Bros. That's OneStPHORM.com/Drinking Bros. Yeah. Back to the the Elvis sightings thing, the intel was pretty rough in the early parts of both of those wars.
Oh, yeah.
Because you had so many. This is just like people that haven't been don't understand it, but Middle Eastern culture is just like they're working out their personal grudges through your intel. Like, oh, you know, so and so down the street is doing this, and it's just a guy that fucked him over a couple years ago.
Yeah,
like,
or that's its heroin competition, right? It's poppy fields.
Yeah. It's always something like that, man. Good God. So what happened after that? I mean, is that like did you get a major back injury or anything, or were you?
I was pretty banged up. My shoulder was jacked up. My back was, dinged. Then that was actually the last mission of that of that particular deployment.
Good Lord.
So went home. They cut the hematoma out of my shin, and then my shoulder was just impinged. It just wouldn't go any farther than 90 degrees. And I said, well, you got to get an operation. I said, but we had just found out that we're going to be the ones to go invade Iraq. I'm like, I'm not missing this.
Yeah.
So they shot me with the cortisone, and I was like, yeah, it works. And then that was to train, and then right before we went out the door, and gave me another one to keep it limber while we're over there. He said, yeah, that's all you get, though. When you get back, you got to get surgery. So I came back, got surgery, and that was about the time I was deciding that I was, you gotta sit down with yourself and go, all right, am I more of an asset or more of a liability?
Yeah.
And
well, that's that's a level of maturity that's hard to find sometimes, to be honest. Like, because nobody wants to be out of the fight. Obviously, that's one of your fucking unofficial mottos, right? Literally. So it's like you don't want to be out of the fight, but you also getting one of your buddies fucked up because you can't lift your arm is unacceptable.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm all that repaired, but my knees were starting to just,
It gets you. Yeah.
It just starts wearing on you. So I made that decision, and I figured I was at 18 years at that point. So I was like, all right, took the family and moved back to the West Coast. Got a job at Warcom, the Special Warfare Command.
Yeah.
Learned how the sausage was made. I had probably the best job in the building. I was testing armor and explosives and visual augmentation systems and all that was just testing and evaluating combat development. And all that.
Yeah, it's kind of like Aberdeen, but for the Navy.
Yep. And then I was working with 3 retired SEAL Master Chiefs, and they're like, yes, but you weren't packaging. Yes, but you weren't packaging. I'm like, dude, you guys shut up.
Get that money,
do it, right? And, I put it in, and they picked me up first time. I was like, damn it.
Yeah. How does that work in the Navy? Is it a so we hit on it before. When you become a warrant in the Army, you're trained in something specific, right? Intel or logistics a lot of times, or certain aircraft.
Yeah, it's a little different. You're just expected to be the subject matter expert,
right?
In whatever.
Right. Well, that's what it is. Yeah. Like the Army has logistics guys. They have obviously pilots.
Yeah, but you're interchangeable. It's not.
Yeah.
I didn't become a breaching warrant officer.
Oh, I see. So what
I was just a warrant.
So you're just expected to, if something comes up, you got to go learn it.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, that's.
But it's really cool because nobody knows what a warrant officer does.
Yeah.
So you've got all this free reign just to do whatever. It was cool.
So what if, unless, I don't know if there's an NDA for this stuff, but which weapons were you evaluating, I guess, back then?
Well, I did the SCAR program.
So this is like 2005, maybe 4.
Yeah, I got there in 2003.
Okay.
And put on warrant in 2006.
Okay, so SCAR. What else? We looked at the SIG pistol, the 226, the one that Secret Service uses, I think.
Yeah, well, we had the 226 for years at that point.
You guys used that already? I think the Army was looking at it back then.
Yeah, we got that one in the late 80s, early 90s.
What else?
Just...
Well, that new 40 millimeter was coming from, God, who was it? Was it HK, the new one, the 320?
Yeah, but we couldn't buy that one. Part of the SCAR program was a
non-compete.
Another one, so we had to go with the FN version, which a little overbuilt, but what the hell? It was just an ancillary, and now everybody's using the 320 just because it's so damn small.
It is so small,
easy to use.
Yeah,
so. And accurate.
Yeah,
holy crap!
The target system on that thing is really nice.
Yeah, pretty bitchy.
You just like keep moving it until it turns green. You're like, boop, boop. All right.
We looked at various scopes and red dots and the miniature red dots. Putting those on like an ACOG, you piggyback a little doctor sight on top there. That's a good little combo because it's lightweight and you don't have to move anything.
You have to go offset,
No, you just have to go from a chin weld, see the red dot, and you're good to go from me to you out to 200 yards.
Yeah, I've got this G33 on my EOTech, behind my EOTech, but it is another movement.
Yeah, you've got to take your hand off the gun. Where all I have to do is adjust, where my head is. Of course, your height over bore becomes an issue. So, if you're at close range and you put the red dot right here between somebody's eyes, you're gonna hit him in the chin.
Right.
So you top of his head.
It's a little bit of adjustment.
Yeah, you just got to it's easier to do that for me, or it was. Just okay, he's that far away. Okay, we're good.
What was your favorite setup? You're a 416 guy. What gun did you like?
We was prior to the 416. We just had M4s. We had the 10-inch. What they call it, CQBR.
Yeah.
Was just an upper receiver. That with the can on it, that got you through most everything.
What about handguns? You guys carried a 226?
226 all day long.
Not that Mark 22 from the late.
The Mark 23.
Or 23, from that. That's from like the 80s, right? And it was
the offensive handgun.
It's like if you can't shoot somebody with it, you can beat them to death with it.
Oh yeah, it was a great gun. It was accurate. It did, it was a really nice shooting gun. But you didn't carry it.
With a can on it too, it's huge.
Oh yeah, and they had the LAM, the laser aiming module, and then they didn't have a holster that you could have that all configured in. So I was like, what are you going to draw it and then put your LAM on it? And it just it didn't make much sense.
Well, so you get into the warrant side, and what are you working on then?
So with the warrant, that came with a unaccompanied year in Bahrain, which I went home with that with the old lady and peeled her off the ceiling because I met her when I was at Damneck. I'd never done a 6-month deployment with her. 3 months was the longest.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to be away for a year.
Yeah, it's a long time.
So I rolled over there as the training officer and the combat systems officer.
Bahrain's pretty not the worst place in the world to get deployed to.
No, it's not bad. It's
being away from your wife for a year sucks, but like that, as far as deployments go, that's not a bad one. It's better than Kuwait and shit like that. I was too many people there.
I was in Kuwait for because you're the warrant, right? So what do we need you to do?
Well, you don't have to worry about being next to the flagpole because nobody knows who the fuck you are or what you're doing.
And they were always sending me to go do stuff, right? So I spent a couple of months up in Kuwait at our Kuwaiti Naval Base detachment. Just ran that. That was my first, command.
That's fun.
And then I came back from that and started doing stuff up in Iraq. Just we had all the new Humvee armor, stuff, and it was being delivered. And everything comes through Bahrain, all right, and then gets and from Bahrain to Kuwait, and then up the road to overland to into country. And so I was just doing kind of admin stuff like that. I wasn't really war fighting. I was being a force multiplier. Right?
Yeah. That specialty helps though. Somebody that's actually been in gunfights, be like, nope, take that off, leave that. That helps. To be honest, the end user, because we just don't. People like me in the 82nd, we don't have the time or resources to make that shit happen. We have to deal with it when it gets to us. You know what I mean? And then usually it's like. We have mechanics that can weld some stuff here and there, but for the most part, we got what we got. You know what I mean? So the fact that having somebody in the supply chain that knows what it is like to be in a gunfight is very useful. Yeah, to be honest, which is why they do it, obviously.
Oh yeah, it was an eye opener. It was good, and again, it was just like when you put on khakis as a chief, you go into work the next day and people are like they want to listen to you even more now. I was like, what the fuck? I was the same guy yesterday. But you just kind of fake it till you make it, and you become the subject matter expert of whatever you're doing.
Right.
So I was there for a year, and then rolled over to basic underwater demolition SEAL training, which is the last place that any operator wants to go, or that's where I didn't.
At least you were like.
Yeah,
tuning down from war fighting for a while before that, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, that would have pissed you off pretty
Oh,
good.
yeah. I mean, well, they were making guys go to buds because nobody
That's
wanted
not
to
good
go.
for the guys going through buds, by the way, that motherfucker had to be forced to be there. I'm sure that's only making it worse.
Yeah.
So how long did you do your instructor time?
I did 3 years there as the third phase
I
training
guess you have
officer.
to, right? 3 years is the typical rotation.
Yep. And then that put me at 25. And I decided that was enough. And the CEO was like, you sure? I said, yeah. He goes, well, you want a job? So I rolled over and became a contract buds instructor because nobody wanted to go to buds, right?
Yeah.
So the bright
You got
idea,
paid more
we'll get
than all your
civilians,
buddies.
yeah, get civilians to come in, that used to wear a trident and teach. So I became the firearms instructor, and for the
for like WarCom or for buds?
For buds,
For
yeah.
buds, okay.
Yeah, third
So
phase.
phase 3, okay. Sweet.
yeah, and
That's a fun job.
it actually worked out really well because before,
You get to talk to pros and shoot all day.
yeah, and you get to shoot all day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And you
Damn.
you're figuring stuff out.
Yeah.
But they, prior to having contractors there, you'd have a guy there for 2 or 3 years, and if he was a good instructor and a good shot, then it showed with the class. So, but you couldn't really write a curriculum to that because you didn't know. So
Based
you
on the guy.
You just had to figure out where the class is going to be. They need to make these minimums, and everything after that is gravy. Well, once they got us on board, we just started writing stuff down and trying stuff. And we put together, it took about 2-3 years, but we got a really good program going. So it wasn't the class driving it anymore. It was like, no, this day you will do this from this yard line with this many rounds. And, and we built that up. And they're still using most of that now from what we put together.
And you think that's like a pretty uniformly superior methodology for?
Well, I know it is because I was trained the old way, and basically they just showed you a gun, showed you how to use the sights, and said, off
it
you
out.
go, and you figured it out. Well, now it's not like that anymore. And proof is the new guys were out shooting the old guys in the beginning because they had no bad habits. Their technique was clean. Because we really worked hard on the fundamentals.
Right.
Your grip, your stance, all presentation, all that.
Yeah, I mean I tell people this all the time, and like mostly it's about your personal life or your views on politics or something like that. But usually, if something's fucked up, you don't if you're a baseball player and your swing's fucked up, you don't go play home run derby. You break it down to the fundamental level and get each one of the fundamentals right, and then start putting them together.
Yeah, and everybody across the board, as a SEAL team member, you have to be proficient to a certain degree, across that line, right? But you're expected to be higher in certain disciplines. Like I was an air guy and a breacher, so I can jump pretty good, and I knew how to blow things up. But I still had to do all the assaulter stuff and everything else. So that if you fall below that median. That's the thing you need to work on,
right?
And that's the thing nobody wants to work on that because you're not good at it. You want to do the stuff that you're good at, right?
That is typically the case. Did you guys ever work with asymmetrical warfare group, or does the Navy have something like Center for Army Lessons Learned, where there's a repository of all this information that kind of goes out to the broader Navy? Yeah,
but maybe they're using something like that now.
Well, we had when I was deployed during the surge in 07 to 08 to the Sadr City area. We were there for about 15 months, and we had an AWG team there. It was a former Army Tier 1 guy. It was a Gold Squadron dude and his medic, corpsman from the Corps, and an FBI guy who was like a SSE specialist, and he would come out on raids with us and for about a month actually on all the raids that we went on. And he was like, here's where you need to look, here's how to catalog everything, blah blah blah. It was very helpful for us. And I was surprised, like AWG was, I think they were mostly recruiting guys in the back end of their career or who were already retired. The FBI guy was retired. The Delta guy was retired. The two Navy guys were still in, but I think they were both getting ready to push back to normal Navy or something like you did.
Yeah.
So it's not always it's you can't always get the people you want because it just matters. Well, it matters who's available, but that was very helpful for us.
Oh yeah. Early on, we had intel guys that would come with us. They were just assigned whatever. I don't know what the screening process was.
Intel from where? From the Navy?
I have no idea.
Well,
I honestly couldn't tell you. And we hit the Hunt Club, which is the bath parties, like I don't know, a country club, right? And dry hole, right? So we bust through it and and so we're just kind of pissed off that we didn't get into a fight. And there's this big desk in the front, right? And behind it, there's those little card drawers you pull out with all these little cards.
Yeah.
And we pull them out. What the hell? And we were just about to start rat fucking everything and bashing around. And the intel guy, he steps, so hold on a second, pulls it out. Beep, 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 beep. Abdul? Yes? Oh. Every member of the bath party.
Holy shit.
Addresses,
like the
phone
Syrian
numbers.
guys too? Holy shit.
Everybody who was a member of that club, their information was in that. And so we carefully pulled it out and cataloged it. So it was a good thing he was here. Otherwise, it would have just been garbage.
Well, the bath party was operational until just this spring, actually, when Assad got deposed. Because he was the last guy, really.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't into Iraqi politics at the time. We had a specific job.
Yeah, Paul. Iraqi politics, it's goat herders. I mean, I wouldn't. Yeah, there's not so much. So
I don't like U.S. politics that much.
Yeah.
So,
no, I mean, they're politicians are the worst people in the world, I think. So you do this. You're a contractor for the Navy for a while.
Yeah, 13 years.
Wow, it's a long time.
It was a fun job.
Yeah.
I'd go out and I'd teach guys how to shoot. And the first year was rough because I had to learn how to teach.
Yeah, it's a different thing, right?
That is a complete different skill set.
After being a BUDS instructor, you had to learn how to teach.
Well, see, I wasn't really a BUDS instructor. I was the third phase training officer.
Oh, I see.
So I didn't have to teach classes or run ranges or like that. So I had to learn how to do all that stuff. And you really got to internalize and go, okay, why are these guys not doing what I knew what I meant when I told them?
Right.
And if they don't get it, it's not because they're idiots. Well, maybe. But
sometimes.
Yeah, I need better words. I need to be able to figure out how to express myself to make it happen. And it takes some time, some reps, and you get it in. But that's where I really learned how to teach. But I also had a whole lot of extra time because you're out there for a week. You taught marksmanship for a week, and then you went home, and the students stayed out there and learned arts and crafts with explosives for a week, and then give their brain a break, and then you came back for the second week, and that was combat shooting. And then I would come back out for the final training exercises and stuff like that. But then you'd have 2-3 weeks between classes with nothing to do because if you're not teaching, there's nothing else going on. So that's when I started doing teaching civilians on the side for beer money, and then a buddy of mine had an opportunity with Tactical Hive. He came to me because he was still active duty. He couldn't be seen on camera. He's like, "Hey, coach, you want to do this?" I'm like, "Fuck no!" Are you kidding me? And then my wife actually talked me into it and was like, you can charge more money if people know your name. I went, okay.
It's true, yeah.
So I just started doing videos for them, and for the next 4 or 5 years, we'd knock out a bunch of videos and, just gear history, because guys with plate carriers, they didn't understand where that came from. Okay? We used to have to sew our own crap. Hell, one of the best things about going to Damnet is you had an airloft that they had a whole bank of machines that you could sew your own shit.
It's not like that in the Army, but the Marine Corps, if you know a Marine Corps sniper, I don't know about now, but back in the day, a Marine Corps sniper or a dude who was an operator in the Navy, they know how to sew, which is a weird skill to have for a gunfighter, right? But every Marine Corps sniper I know that was like 90s, early 2000s, one of my buddies, Jeff, was in my 82nd unit, and he was a former Marine Corps sniper, and he would anytime I needed something, I was like, "Hey, can you fucking," you know what I mean? It's interesting.
Things would come up, and you go, "Hey, I need so you go figure it out,
right?
And you make one, make sure it works, and then you take it to London Bridge Training or trading company, and they would do scale, right? And we were their R&D because all their stuff that was just damn neck stuff that they go, oh, that works, and then they'd put it in their catalog, pretty much. But yeah,
yeah, it's weird. It's interesting how that all developed over time. You know?
Well, yeah. I mean, you got Molly. That was a boon to mankind because now you don't have to sew anything. You know, just weave that stuff together, and you know.
I mean, before it was Alice.
Yep.
And
that's what I grew up with.
It was. I mean, I thought Alice was fine.
It works okay.
It's not as good as Molly, obviously, but it's good. It's not. Yeah. It's not as quite as modular, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, with the Alice kit, and if you want to put body armor on, you wore like, you know, just plates, and then you threw your kit on over the top. Okay, well, that's more nylon than you need, you know. And when you're working in a maritime environment, you get wet, that soaks up all the water and makes you heavier and less comfortable. So the less material you can use, and now like the what Cry's doing with that high tech laminate, you know, it doesn't soak up anything. It doesn't get wet, you know, so you're not weighing extra when you come out of the water.
Yeah, there's they make a dozen different models now. One specifically for jumping at high altitude. I mean, none of that shit existed back in the day.
Oh God, no.
Even like in the 82nd when I first got there, we were wearing Falcon rigs at the beginning. We got a Molly plate carrier not too long after that, but at first it was a plate carrier with some. I mean, you could put stuff on it, but it wouldn't be great. You know, the Falcon rig, chest rig over the top of that. It's like, damn, if I'm walking around naked in this cop or whatever the fuck, and then we get into a gunfight, I got to put on two things now to go. Not, I mean, honestly, my first instinct would just be to put on the Falcon rig because it's got all my shit on it. Like, I need bullets more than I need armor from my perspective. You know what I mean? But yeah, now everything is so nice because a lot of it is because of dudes like you. To be honest, like all these people that got out with the actual gunfighting experience that were like, no, this is stupid. Because most of the dudes that I knew that deployed early 2000s with tier 1 and 2 units or special activities or something like that, they were buying shit off the internet and having it shipped to Kuwait and putting it together themselves. One of my buddies bought a fucking turret off the internet. He also like he kind of modified what do you call it, the M3 mount to put foreign weapons on it and shit like that. He's an engineer, so it made sense. But he was like welding his own shit, so you could put like a PKM on top of a truck. I'm like, all right, dude, that's good for you. But like, that's
if the locals can do it.
Yeah, they definitely can. I don't know if I would trust them to, but they could definitely do it. Those motherfuckers can build anything out of anything. That's the one skill I'll give it to them. Man, they can make some shit. So anyways, you're doing firearms instruction. You're still working for them now, right? Or is that done?
Well,
or you're still doing instruction now?
I'm still doing instruction. That ended for me last July. And then I had a couple life events that went on. But right about that time, because I've been doing the videos with Tactical Hive, the guys from Smith & Wesson saw me and they're like, hey, this guy's kind of personable. Maybe we can, do something with him.
And they're building this, or it's built now, I think, the new training facility out near Knoxville somewhere.
It's going up right now.
What's the name of that city? Marysville.
Maryville.
That's
you gotta say it right. Yeah. It's East Tennessee. You can't say Maryville, and you can't say Marvel. Right there in the middle.
Yeah,
it matters.
It's close to Knoxville though, right?
Yeah,
I got some buddies that live out there. It's when do they expect that to be finished?
Beginning of September. It should be ready to go. The grand opening is going to be in September.
And it's going to be something like the SIG Academy. Like you're going to have an actual S&W instructors there, but it's also something. It's almost an experience, right? Because they're gonna, like Mark was telling me. I don't know if this is even public information, but there's some
it's
some
gonna
rifles.
be now.
There's some rifles. Well, we can edit this. There's some rifles coming from Smith & Wesson. I think that part's public, and they like. It's like that's a good thing to have a place for people to come use them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before they, because establishing a new product line, even for a company as prestigious as Smith & Wesson, is not an easy thing to do, especially in this community.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's going to be. It's not only training. Okay, we're going to be using that for product development.
Yeah.
So your engineers are over there in the building and they make something. They can just come out and shoot it, and everybody can shoot it and get more hands on it, more critiques, I guess. We'll bring in like the sales reps and actually train them on Smith & Wesson products, as well as like law enforcement is going to be the first thing I'm going to be concentrating on teaching.
Okay.
Get cops in.
Yeah. Well, the local jurisdictions aren't helping them out at all. Like most cops are firing 100 rounds a year.
Yeah.
Maybe 200.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. But part of the system that we developed goes a lot with dry fire. So
I'll let you talk about it, but I tell people this all the time until I'm blue in the face. You're going to learn more dry firing than you do on the range.
Yep.
Going on the range is to confirm that you've learned the thing. That's the test.
The only thing
I know we love to shoot. I love to shoot too, dude. But
you can't always shoot in your living room, right?
Yeah.
But you can dry fire, and everything except feeling the recoil. And the bang, and hell, you can get stuff that you can tell where you're hitting.
Yeah.
Okay,
These
so
days, little lasers.
There's a lot of cool stuff out there, right? Or even just like companies make BB guns that are the same as your actual pistol.
Yeah, like the what is it, airsoft guns?
Yeah, airsoft,
like literally identical to the gun. Now.
BB pellet guns, all that. So
and they have a little bit of feedback. It's not a lot, but it's enough to it's enough where you don't. The only problem that people have really is anticipating recoil when it comes to that, and then I guess reacquiring sight picture, right?
Yeah,
to a smaller degree with a handgun.
It doesn't test your grip, because you're not getting the recoil, so your grip might come apart or whatever. But but it's better to do that than nothing, and it's really really cheap because you're just using
cost your time.
That gun. Yeah, it's your time. And if you dedicate, anybody can dedicate 20 minutes a week to just strap on your stuff and just go through the motions.
My girlfriend thinks I'm crazy because I'm sitting there watching TV and then drawing and pointing it at people's heads on TV. And she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "This is very valuable for me. I promise you. I know it seems silly, but it's very valuable for me."
Yeah, it makes it so that it's now automatic. The myelination of the nerve ending. So it's like you build those neural pathways.
You want it to be like an extension of your body, man. I mean, you know that you're like you've been gunfighting for 40 something years now. You know what I mean? Not to date you.
Sounds like a long time.
It's the way it is. But it's what do you guys the big plan for Smith & Wesson with this new facility? What is it exactly? What are you trying to accomplish?
Well, like I said, initially there's going to be a lot of just shakeout, right? So first it'll be just cops, and I'm working fundamentals, okay? Because that's all I have time for. A lot of instructors like to talk about fundamentals and then they go straight into look at these cool drills, if we focus on fundamentals, then you just get smoother and faster, and you're actually hitting what you're shooting at.
Right.
So arguably that's what we want at the end, right?
Yeah.
Just so it's not going to be. We'll still get the reps in and do cool drills and all that, but it's all going to be focused on, especially like the grip is huge, and your presentation.
Yeah, I mean just the comfortability level. Then this is what I found. I did this with all of my new guys that came through the 82nd. I was actually lucky. I had one dude that was like from Tennessee. And he had been shooting his whole life, and he was pretty good, right? He didn't have bad habits. His dad was in the military, and the other two guys had never seen a gun before. They showed up. I'm like, easy.
Yeah.
Like this is
as long as you're coachable.
Like, yep. Yeah, this is the easy. I told him straight up, like, this is the easiest thing you're ever going to learn how to do because it's just mechanics. Like you can train your body to do this. You won't necessarily be elite, but you'll be able to be competent with a gun. I think anybody. it's at coachable, you can teach them to be pretty good.
Well, and the term used to be basics. Oh, it's all the basics. It's like, well, if you say basics, then that assumes that there's an intermediate and an advanced.
Right.
Well, yeah, techniques, yes, but the
Fundamentals are the fundamentals.
they don't change.
Yep.
What happens is, because you've done it, you got the reps in, nice clean fundamentals, your times go down magically. You're not rushing. You're just moving at a comfortable speed, but it looks really fast.
It sounds like a cliche, but it is the most true thing about
Yeah.
performing. And it doesn't, not even just gun stuff. It's everything, right?
Yep.
Like once your body becomes, the reason is because there's no pain, right? It's why people get the yips in sports. You start thinking about what you're doing, you can't think, got to do, right?
Nope.
Just like train your body to do the right thing and then get into the situation and let it do it.
Yeah, it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
If you're busy thinking about your gun, you're not thinking about this puzzle that you're solving.
Yeah.
You know, and that's all CQB is, right? So the gun has to be just a second, just part of your body. One of the best things a former student told me, it's like, he was in SQT. It's like, how's it going? It's like, oh, Mr. Cochiolo, I entered the room. I got a click instead of a bang on my M4. I don't even know where that pistol came from. It was just up in my hands, and I took the shot. I'm like, awesome. That's exactly where I want you to be. Keep it up.
Yeah, I like that, the repetition. And you can't – I think people develop bad habits on the range.
Oh, yeah, there's definite
experience.
range habits.
Yeah, it's like, there's something about the attention that you can pay to all your mechanics when you're dry firing, that the appeal of looking down range and seeing where the round lands fucks with, I think. I think it messes with your process a little bit, to be honest. I encourage people just to, dry fire is free, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost you anything but time. And you can certainly find 20 minutes a week to do this drills, right? And you can find a company like yours or a person like you that'll tell you, here's the drills you do for 20 minutes a week, and it's going to improve. Then go to the range.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I mean, hell, you can watch training videos I did for TAC Hive and actually learn something and become a better shot. Of course, if you show up to a class, I'll be able to put my hands on you and you'll get better faster. And that's just the nature of the business there.
Yeah, I'm actually, I was talking to Mark in January about coming out to check this thing out. I think there's actually a grand opening in the second or third week of September, I think.
Yeah.
And then it opens fully in October. Are you guys getting, I don't know if you know anything about this, but is there any nonprofit funding to help deal with get these police through? Because we've dealt with it with the criminal or the Justice Initiative, where Clark Pennington, I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he works at the Independence Fund, former cop himself, and he runs this program where they teach cops how to deal with veterans in crisis, basically. Like, hey, this guy, this isn't the dude to walk up on and start saying this or that. You just got to, hey, fuck face, let's go, right? You got to talk to him like he's a dude. That's part of it. That's obviously that's reductive what I'm saying, but do you know if anything like that's going on? Because I know people, it's a big problem with police. Not their fault for the most part. They don't get the departments just don't pay for or require the kind of training that you would expect for somebody that carries a gun professionally.
Yeah. If they require it, then they have to pay you overtime to do it or take you off the street during a shift. And they're making money on you when you're on the street, not when you're training. Right. So, working in that extra money for overtime or bullets or, whatever, that's it. Every department has its own issues with that. And if there's a way to, get somebody to pay for it to help them out,
sure,
awesome. Yeah. But I mean, that's not my, it's my, not my area. I'm just there to teach.
And one of the, somebody from Smith back, it wasn't Marcus, somebody else told me they were going to have, a lot of events there over the next year or so, probably to get some attention. You know, you want it. You want people's departments to know that it happens, because there are quite a few nonprofits out there that you can get in touch with, like, hey, we want to get this training or that training. Can you guys help us with that? That's a thing.
Yep.
And look, you're not going to get much better training than from somebody like you, to be fair, right? That's a huge net benefit for our people. So that's great.
Yeah. So we'll also be once we have the venue up, we want to like host competitions as well, like tactical games and
that'll be
guys
fun,
like that.
Yeah.
So if they can come out and use the facility, and it'll just bring more attention to it. And then eventually we're going to expand. Because like right now I'm the only instructor. So
I was going to ask about that.
I will
You're
be
the only
training the instructors on the curriculum and how my approach to teaching, which has worked okay. And the other thing is, I'm primarily going to be looking for former SEALs. Go figure, right? That want to come out and teach, but they've got to put everything aside, right? Because they're guys you can't treat civilians, even cops, like bud students or even other team guys. So there's a little filter you got to put on there, and it's a little more delicate, but still just as strict. Just you don't have the immediate pain compliance that is available to you when you're teaching military.
You can't really knife hand civilians. It doesn't work.
Can't make them go wet and sandy. Everybody says they want to train like a Navy SEAL, but nah, they don't.
Yeah, until they're doing sit-ups with a fucking 400-pound log in the surf. Fuck that. Not doing that shit. Well, look, man, thanks for coming today. I appreciate all this information. This is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to go out there in September for the opening.
Right on.
And then probably come out later and try to shoot some shit when I have time. Looking forward to it. Appreciate you coming out today. Tell everybody where they can find you and find all this information so they can go look it up on their own and look into this, because especially if there's a lot of police officers that watch the show, and if they're looking to get
I'm
their
sure it's going to be on smithandwesson.com.
That's the best place.
Probably.
And you've got training videos out there as well, right?
Yeah.
Is that something you're still making money on?
I didn't make any money on that. You kidding me? That was more just marketing for me.
I see, yeah.
So, and it got me this job, so it wasn't a bad move.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I've got training videos on TAC Hive. You can look at that up there, and it eventually my goal is to do the same thing for Smith & Wesson,
right? And
just teach all the stuff that I'm going to be teaching on the range will be available on video.
There you go.
Because if you don't have the money, I want to be able to make everybody who wants to learn how to shoot. I want good information out there, because there's a lot of crap out there.
Yeah.
Right. So if I can put out good information, and hey, go here, and you can get decent training just by watching a video. But if you want to get better training, or you want to learn faster, and you have some money, then eventually we'll open up to civilian courses and all that. But I'm going to need a few more instructors to help me out.
Yeah, you can't handle that.
I'm only one guy.
Yeah. Well, you are one, but you've got a lot of experience. It's going to be a net benefit to that company for sure, and definitely to the cops that come through.
And so when I was at Buds, not only were we teaching the students how to shoot, but we're also teaching the instructors how to instruct.
Right.
So hopefully that'll pan out. I'll be able to.
You may just have to go find some of the dudes that you instructed on how to instruct back in the day.
That's the idea. Because I know their fundamentals are good, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, thanks for coming today. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me on,
man. Thanks for all your service to this country and your continued service to this country. We really appreciate it, because it's the best country in the world.
It is. Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you all for listening to this Big City.